Hello, everyone. Another preseason game in the books. Liverpool lose to Bayern 4-3. If you didn't catch our live watch along, we actually did a live watch along for this one on American Scouser TV as well. But before we go on to my comments on the game, do us a big favor. Do us subscribe, like, and all that kind of stuff, and follow, subscribe to American Scouser TV. We appreciate all your support, and definitely join our live broadcasts as we move forward over here in the pre-match and post-match. Give us what you guys think of the 11 that came out, of the performances after the game and stuff. Love to hear you guys, and love to really future what you guys think, and everybody over here watching the game with us, as opposed to just us bozos giving our takes. But speaking of bozos giving takes, well, let's talk about the game a little bit. A lot of good things to see, a lot of worry things to see. I think one thing that I felt as we watched the game more and more is everything that I was concerned about going into the game, I'm still concerned with. And everything that I was kind of like hopeful and looking forward to see, I like what I'm seeing overall. And I think moving forward is going to be what we do about the concerns more than anything else, right? And obviously the glaring one's the defensive midfielder. I think today was a good test to see how we would do there. And I think we saw, I don't think anybody finished this game thinking, yep, we're set over there, because we're not. And it shows. I know a lot of, people look at the score, or people are going to watch the highlights. And if the highlight only shows like the end of the situation, you're not going to get the full picture. But a lot of the situations that put defense in the situation they're in was because of the midfield and how we set up defensively there, or how we defended up top. And going back to how we defend up top, I think we did, for the most part, see the starting 11 against the Chelsea up top. I do think Gakpo starts over Nunez. And what he does in the interplay, defensively, press-wise, and the build-up definitely is a big plus over what we see from Nunez. Jota, based on his form, might earn that spot on the left, but I did really like what I saw from Diaz. It was more of glimpses of the old Diaz, which has been slowly coming ever since he came back from the injury. It was never like as fast as he was and stuff, but I thought today was like definitely like a leap in the right direction, if you will, because he looked really, really good. Defensively, like I say, the back line does not look great. No hiding that. I know everybody's talking about, like Matip and Trent and stuff like that, but anybody who watched the game, you had to have seen how poorly Robertson played today. And it's been kind of like going his poor form, because even though teams mostly attack that right side, knowing Trent will be more pushed up, they try to play over the top. And I'll be honest, the times they played over the top successfully, Trent was back there. We still got played over the top of Matip and Trent, like the first goal and stuff like that. But Robertson on the left-hand side repeatedly missing tackles, mistiming tackles, getting past and putting like Van Dijk. I feel like Van Dijk is looking more and more like himself, though. So I guess if you're going to look at some positives, you can look at that. Konate came in the second half. I don't know if it was a huge upgrade over what we saw with Matip. I think it's a lot easier for people to pick up on, blaming Matip when he's there. And then the second half, Konate comes in. So now it becomes Gomez's fault somehow. I thought Gomez did well overall, and he might end up, I don't know if this Jones experiment is working or not. I mean, I know it's not working, but I don't know if we're going to continue working on it. It is definitely not fair on Jones. This is the same thing as playing Jones on left wing, Carvalho on left wing and stuff. It's hard to evaluate the player and blame the player when they're playing so out of position. You can kind of tell Jones does not feel comfortable there and loses himself there. It's different playing a U21 and different system. You can see that he loses his positioning. There are a couple of times he does things that a center midfielder would do, but not a defensive midfielder would do, because there's no Hoover behind you, the Brazilian Hoover, behind you to clean things up. So you can kind of take some of those risks maybe if you're a center midfielder, but not necessarily as a defensive midfielder. Will he learn that? Yes, he will. And he will get better at it. Do we have time for that? I'm not sure. So I do hope we act as quickly as possible. It's very apparent that we need more reinforcements in this midfield. And anybody saying just one is probably not looking at the big picture. Definitely need two midfielders, because we don't know Besetic and Thiago when and how they will be back, and what shape they will be in, when we will see the real Besetic and where we will see the real Thiago and stuff. So definitely need the reinforcements. McAllister had an injury scare at the end of the half, which just happened to be just like a knee-to-knee kind of a thing. But, I mean, I'm not the only one. When we saw that and we were like, if this is a bad injury, what the hell will we do? Well, if you're saying that about one player, you know you're not deep enough. And I think that's something that needs to be addressed. The score and all that kind of stuff doesn't matter. I'm not too worried about that. I'm not even too worried about the goals overall because one of them looked off and stuff. Like, whatever. It's just preseason and nothing to get overworked about. But when you see certain trends, I think that's when you have to take caution and say, is this going to be a problem when we play against Chelsea the first week and moving forward? You don't want to lose some points that you look back and say, man, I wish we did like reacted earlier so we didn't lose those points in the first few weeks of the season. So let's hope that's not the case. Let's hope we take some action over here. Not like somebody who you bring in today will start against Chelsea, but ultimately, the sooner the better. Let me know what you guys think. The starting 11, I felt like Gakpo earned this spot over Nunez. Let me know what you think about that. I know there are a lot of Nunez fans out there that are getting mad at me for repeatedly saying Gakpo over Nunez. Let me think what you thought of the back line. What you thought overall of the game. Do you care? Are you worried? Let us know in the comments below. And have a great day, everybody.